So my take on the whole Olivia Rodrigo thing is that I feel like the media always tries to pit like powerful women against each other. And so I kind of like just this left like an icky feeling in my mouth because I just feel like the vampire lyrics are so clearly about like an abusive relationship, and we know that she had just been in a relationship with that guy and he was older, and like it all sort of like fit that situation. And I feel like it's kind of belittling to the like impact of that emotional message to imply it's about like a rumored feud with Taylor Swift. That being said, I thought her response was super interesting because she said, "How do I answer this? I think it's better to not pigeonhole a song to being about just one thing." I was very surprised when people thought that, which I just thought was kind of like an interesting response instead of just being like, "No, that's not true." But I think she's probably just like super media trained, and this is probably what her publicist said to say. The other thing I think is that I think it's so criminal she had to like pay all of those fees. Like she had to give 50% of two of her songs, one to Paramore and one to Taylor Swift, just because they had like chord progressions that were similar. And I think that's crazy. Like her album is sensational and original. And I think this idea that like even if there's a tiny, teeny little similarity, then you should have to give like half of your profit to like people who are already mega wealthy. I don't know, that doesn't sit right with me, babes. So Popcrave said, some fans are convinced that vampire, specifically the yelled bloodsucker fame bleeding me dry like a vampire, is about Swift, especially given the signs of their budding friendship vanished after the credits issue. I mean, this is a good point. Swift recently invited Sabrina Carpenter, the rumored other party, and the driver's license Heartbreak to support her Eras tour. I mean, that is always kind of sus when your like enemy is like palling around with your other enemy. It's like, maybe enemy's too strong of a word. But then, this is the quote I already said. I mean, I never want to, say who any of my songs are about. I've never done that before in my career. Probably won't. I think it's better to not pigeonhole a song to being about one thing. What's your take on this whole thing? I feel like I am so on Olivia Rodrigo's side, like whatever the drama that comes out, because I just feel like to be that young in the music industry, it's so easy to be taken advantage of. And I feel like it was very like predatory of these bigger artists to like demand like 50% of the royalties from like two songs that had similar chord progressions. And like I love Taylor Swift and I love Paramore. Like I love those people. I love Hayley Williams, even though I know it wasn't Hayley Williams who instigated the lawsuit. Like I love those artists, those musical acts, but I just feel like for an up and comer, it's like her first big album. I don't know, it just doesn't sit right with me, babes.